Well, the Whippy Fury took top dogs Trenton to overtime 2 weeks ago, and they were looking to keep the strong play going against the Aurora Tigers last Sunday. More on that in just a moment. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. On the show today, the Trenton Golden Hawks, as just mentioned, have been the class of the league so far this year, and their head coach, Jerome DuPont, will join us to chat about what's been going right for his red-hot squad. Also, we'll have a feature story on the Markham Royals, a team that's thriving in its new home after making the move from Hamilton earlier this year. But first, let's get to the Gong Show Gear game highlights. And the Whippy Fury are a team that's played far better than their record indicates, and they currently sit last in the East Division. But they've scored wins over top teams like Kingston and Markham. So you can't sleep on these guys even for a second, as Aurora found out the hard way last Sunday. Game highlights now brought to you by Gong Show Gear. Gong Show Gear, lifestyle hockey apparel, an official sponsor of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Aurora had won 7 of their last 8 as they headed south to take on Whitby. First period now, Whitby up 1-0. Austin Gerhard tips home the point shot to make it a 1-1 hockey game. And then it's Liam Newman intercepting the cringe-worthy pass here up the middle, showing off the sweet moves. Great individual effort, and the Cats go up 2-1. It stayed that way going into the second period. Tigers on the power play. Jordan Silva whiffs on it, and Jeffrey Gauld is off to the races. He whips it past Alex Brooks-Potts, and it's all knotted up at 2. The teams exchanged goals in the third period, so we were off to OT, and it's Zach Viminitz playing hero for Whitby. What a shot to win it. 3-2 Fury. A great comeback win for them, and they needed that one after having Trenton on the ropes the week before, but losing in overtime. This time they pull it out. Elliott Gauld and Viminitz with the goals for the home side. Okay, Orangeville makes the trip south to take on the Raiders Wednesday night. It only takes G-Town a minute 13 to break the ice as Double J Jack Jacome tips home the point shot past Nicholas Latinovich, 1-0 soon after. They add another. Asher Elliott hits the second half of the Jacome dynasty. This would be brother Brendan. 2-0 Georgetown before the ice was even dry. Still in the first, though, Orangeville gets on the board. 2-on-1, Lucas Smilski hits Colin Rigney, who squeezes it past Andrew Masters, and the Flyers cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Skip ahead to the third period now, and the Raiders pad their lead. Orangeville can't clear. Anthony Moda goes hunting for the water bottle and finds it. Beautiful shot. They nearly add one more, but Latinovich comes up with the monster save here on Brendan Jacome. Ouch. Take another look at this one as he plays Gumby and somehow stretches to deny Jacome twice. Incredible. That kept it from getting any worse. 4-1 Raiders your final. The Flyers struggling a little bit now, having lost 4 of their last 6, but they still sit third in the West Division. Okay, Stouffville heads to North York. The Rangers on a 4-game slide going into this one, and it doesn't start well for them. Just 3:30 in. Sam Hu deflects the Nathan Hudgens shot in, and the Spirit lead 1-0. The Rangers get it back, though. Ryan Takamatsu, I think he planned this. Banks it off the boards right to Nick Zanetta, who deposits. Yeah, I think he called his shot. Rangers and Spirit tied at 1. It stayed that way into the third period. Spirit on the power play. This time it's Hudgens deflecting in the Sam Hu shot with just 2:25 remaining, and that would prove to be the winner. They'd add an empty netter to make it a 3-1 final. So North York now are on a 5-game slide. Their last win came all the way back on October 30th over the Wellington Dukes. Well, it's been tough sledding so far this season for the Lindsay Muskies. Right now, they're sitting last in the North, but have wins over league powers Georgetown and Kingston to their credit. Sunday, Pickering found out just how dangerous the Muskies can be. The Muskies' Achilles heel is offense. Just 38 goals on this season, by far the fewest in the OJ. And Pickering draw first blood. Dallas Carter slides the backhand past the Muskies keeper. 1-0 Panthers. 4 minutes later, though, Kyler Chalice hooks Cedric Ralph on the breakaway, and the official wastes no time in making the call. Penalty shot. Ralph goes 5-hole on Matthew Woroniak, and we're all tied up at 1 apiece. No scoring in the second, so we skip to the third. James Allen knocks home the rebound to make it 2-1 Muskies. That would prove to be the winner. The Fish would add an empty netter for a third. 3-1 your final, and that's just the second time over the last month they've scored as many as 3 goals in a game, so they were a happy crew after that one. Okay, OJHL trivia for this week, and your question is, who was the Gong Show Gear Northeast Player of the Month for October. Gong Show Gear Northeast Player of the Month for October, and the first person with the correct response to iWestgate at theojhl.ca wins 2 tickets to the 2015 World Junior A Challenge, taking place in Cobourg and Whitby, December 13th to the 19th. It's going to be a great event. So the first person with the correct response wins the prize.
Willie Paul, defense, Burlington Cougars. What I bring to the ice is a complete game. I like to play both ends of the ice, starting in my D zone. I like to join the rush and trade offense whenever I can, but I take care of my own zone first, most importantly. This season, I think that we're going to definitely improve on last season. We've already shown that. We're definitely going to come into every game ready to compete, not take any periods off, and see how far we can go together. My teammates are definitely a different bunch of guys, but we definitely gel close together, and I played hockey for many years, and I've never had a team this close, and it's awesome to be with these guys every day.
Welcome back to the OJ. Today I'm joined now in the studio via Skype, the wonders of technology, with the coach and general manager of the Trenton Golden Hawks, Jerome Dupont. Jerome, you just got off the ice from practice. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about this season in a moment here because you guys are having a fantastic season so far, but last year was a great one for you guys as well. You finished second overall in the standings with the most points in the entire league. Made it to the conference quarterfinals where you lost in 6 games to Kingston. Just talk about last season and how you feel things went.
Well, I think it went very well. We set different goals and objectives for ourselves, and one was to have a really good regular season, which we did, and then to parlay it into playoff success. And I think winning 2 rounds and almost getting through a third would be that. We met a tough opponent in Kingston, and they deservedly won the series, and then. Went on to, giving the Toronto Patriots a tough go, losing in Game 7. But all in all, it was a great season. And I guess, most importantly, we were able to get a number of scholarships, I think 12 in total for our players. So I would say overall it was a very successful year.
And the scholarship thing is a big thing, too. We'll talk about that in a sec, obviously advancing players onto that next level. This year, you guys have been almost unstoppable so far. First place in the East Division. You've only lost twice at this point that we're doing this interview. You've lost twice all season. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into making you guys so successful, but let's talk about some of those ingredients do you think that have made the team so good so far?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, character players that come to work every day and are committed to the task at hand. I think that's first and foremost. We only had 5 returning players, so for the most part, it's a new group. But there's some real good leaders here, and we're a little older team, but all in all, there's good chemistry. It's banded together, and we've had success so far. Let's hope it can continue.
Your defense has been absolutely lights out so far. As of today, you guys have allowed 35 goals in 20 games. That's actually 16 less than the next closest team. I couldn't believe it when I saw that stat. As a former NHL D-man yourself, that must put a smile on your face, the attention to defense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I played for Roger Nielsen for 3 years, and he was obviously a guy that was a big proponent of D-first hockey. I'm of the same opinion. That doesn't mean you can't be a real good offensive team, but I'm a big believer in taking care of your own end first and puck possession. And if you adhere to those principles and work hard at keeping the puck out, generally good things happen, and you're in every game.
Yeah, and you know what? You guys don't have anyone in the top 10 from an offensive perspective. You guys have got good goal totals, but no one in the top 10 of league scoring, no individual player. What you guys do have is a fantastically balanced attack. You've got 6 players with 20 points or more, so really these guys are getting it done by committee.
Yeah, I think the depth in your lineup is critical in terms of long-term success because if one player gets shut down or is in a slump or gets hurt or suspended, you get other guys that pick up the slack. So, when we built the team, part of it was making sure that we had depth at all positions, and I think it's safe to say we do.
You guys have a really big weekend coming up. You're taking on one of your big rivals, the Coburg Cougars, a team you guys knocked out in the second round last year. And, of course, geographically, they're close to you guys. Talk about Coburg and the intensity of that rival and also what they bring to the table.
Well, they're a great team, but we've got Buffalo first, and they're on Wednesday of this week. They're obviously doing incredibly well, so that'll be a real tough, task to beat them. Big challenge. We've got to go into their building, which is always a little more challenging in terms of getting the W. But Coburg has always been a real tough opponent, a real good organization, a team that's always very well coached. So we expect that that'll be a difficult game on Friday. There's a coaching change there that's happened recently, so there's probably new energy, and with new energy, generally it means that they're probably going to be even tougher to play.
Jerome, you've had a really interesting coaching career, very successful. You've been all around, everywhere from the OJ to the OHL. You've also been in the Q. When you first wanted to become a coach, I'm interested in hearing this always. What were your tenets? What were your main things that you wanted to bring and instill to your players?
You know what? I mean, I kind of fell into coaching to some extent, although both my parents are ex-teachers, so I think it comes somewhat naturally. You know what? I mean, I was, I guess, about paying attention to detail was really important to me. We talked about, defense first. Those things were well instilled by some of the very good coaches I had, like Roger Nielsen, Bob Pulford. Go down the list. Dave Chambers, George Armstrong. I've been blessed to have had good influences in that regard, and I think that went a long way towards establishing, an ideology or a way we approach the game, and we put a lot of time into what we do, and we expect a lot from our players as well.
Jerome, there's been a little bit of a lag with the Skype. That's some of the fun of technology as well. We're still ironing out. But listen, we're out of time regardless. Listen, I want to say thank you very much for being on the show. I know you got to make a long drive to Toronto now. So thanks for being here and safe travels, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Okay. OJ Today returns in just a moment.
This year, the World Junior A Challenge celebrates 10 years with its first trip to Ontario. Will you be in Coburg and Whitby when the puck drops? From December 13th to 19th, Canada East and Canada West face off with the Czech Republic, Russia, Switzerland, and the United States in the chase for gold. Ticket packages are on sale now, so visit hockeycanada.ca/WJAC today.
Welcome back. Well, the Burlington Cougars have cooled down a bit lately after a strong start, but it's not from a lack of effort. Many of the games they've lost have been tight one-goal defeats that could have gone either way, and they continued that trend against the Flyers last Friday. The Cougars had lost 5 of their last 6 heading into this tilt, so they were hungry for 2 points, and it looks like they might have got the short end of the stick on this call. Watch as Tyler Ritter on the wraparound here appears to put it in, but the officials say the net was off. That would prove to be a call that would burn the Cats in the long run. It was scoreless heading into the second frame. Cougs on the power play. They move it around nicely here. David Thompson, parked out front, says thank you very much as he puts it in. And the home squad go out front 1-0. It stayed that way well into the third period. The Cougars took a roughing penalty with just over 2 minutes left, and the Flyers make them pay. As Colin Rigney fires at home with just 1:53 left to tie it up at 1, which means overtime. 4-on-4 action, a minute 20 in. Ethan Wiseman plays hero for the Flyers as he wrists it past Andrew Lee. That is your game winner, and Burlington sees 2 points slip away. 2-1 your final. The Cougars would actually go on to win both other games last weekend by a combined score of 14-4, but on this night, it's Orangeville coming out victorious. Okay, a huge battle last Friday between North-leading Aurora and powerful Kingston. The V's get things going just 2:40 in as Jack Zielinski knocks home his own rebound, and it's 1-0 Kingston. Tigers power play midway through the period. Kyle Locke absolutely tattoos this point shot past David Richer, and the Tigers square things up at 1. It's 1-1. Second period action now. Aurora on the PP. Richer can't handle the point shot. Darren Iwa is there to wrap home the rebound, and the Tigers had the power play working on this day. They were up 2-1. 4 minutes later, though, Connor Bebb turns on the Jets and then skies for the breakaway goal. Beauty. And the V's have tied up the proceedings at 2. The teams traded goals in the third, so they were off to overtime, and Kingston wins it on some beautiful tic-tac-toe passing. Harris to Nadeau to Anthony Rinaldi, and the OJ's leading scorer does it again. OT winner for Kingston. His 23rd of the season is a big one. 4-3 your final. That snaps Aurora's 6-game winning streak. Rinaldi, Bebb, Zielinski, and Nadeau scoring for the V's. Lockboard and Iwa for the Tigers. Okay, the Ice Hawks head to Georgetown to take on their Halton rivals last Saturday. Georgetown get on the board early, 2:50 in. Raiders power play. Matt Cairns wires home the point, shot past Marcus Samayo, and the home squad goes up 1-0. 40 seconds later, though, Milton with the man advantage. Joseph Teofilo tucks it past Billy Day. He had a huge game, as you're going to see. It's 1-1. Then Milton throwing the body around, too, as Anthony Baxter lays out Anthony Mota. And then it's Teofilo again on the power play, finding the back of the net. And the Ice Hawks suddenly lead 2-1. It was that way heading into the second period. Raiders on the PP this time. Out of the scramble, Brendan Jacome roofs it past Samayo. Georgetown ties it up at 2. And then Mota steals, hits Bailey Molela, who takes advantage of it. 3-2 lead for the Georgetown Raiders. And then, don't blink.
Another face-off windows. Cairns shoots and scores! A rocket from the point by Matt Cairns.
Yeah, gorgeous. That rocket made it 4-2 Raiders heading into the third, but Teofilo was a force of nature on this night. Here he gets the Hattie by staying with it. 3 cracks at it before he puts it home. What a game for the sniper, but that wasn't enough. The Raiders add an empty netter to make it a 5-3 final. Milton may be having a rough year, but Teofilo is lighting it up. He's now got 16 on the season. That's the third highest total in the OJ. Okay, it was Pickering and Markham hooking up with an epic encounter last weekend. Lots of early goals were scored last week. This one just 2:42, and Tiger McDonald wires it home from the point to make it a 1-0 Panthers lead. It stayed that way into the second frame. The keepers were putting on a show. First, it was Graham Schropp stoning Joel Knight, not once but twice. And then Sean Tessier blows a tire, leading to the breakaway, but Nathan Colito comes up with a huge stop on Thomas Azino. Nicely done. Nothing he can do about this one, though. 11:54 mark. Doug Carter, bam, top shelf. Cats go up by a deuce. It's 2-0, but the Royals own the third. First, it's Tyson Bruce from out of the corner, kind of off camera there, but it's in. 2-1 Panthers, and Markham had the momentum going. Just a minute 10 later. Hear the man, Joe Montesano. Off to overtime we go.
Everyone on the edge of their seaters, that's just me. Spivak, Falco, shot. Oh, what a save by Schroep. Royals, they cut their man up. Michaelis gave it away. In front, stop, rebound. Oh, it was behind him. Good save. Oh, my.
If Markham wins the Buckland Cup this year, I think Joe might need to be put in restraints. 2-2 your final. Great game. Great commentary. Thanks a lot for the footage, guys. Okay. OJ commitments from the past week. There was only one, but it was a good one. Patrick Kudla, the D-man for the Oakville Blades, commits to Arizona State. Division 1 for the start of 17-18. And at the World Under-17 Challenge, Ian Blacker and Jacob McGrath both took part. Blacker for Team Red and McGrath for Canada Team Black. Congrats, guys. OJHL standings, and we start in the North Division. Aurora on top of Markham with a 5-point bulge. Newmarket in third. And we head to the east. Trenton still on top with a 1-point lead over Kingston. Trenton 4 games in hand, though, to pad that lead in the future. To the south, the Junior Canadians, 28 points, tied with Oakville. North York not far behind. And in the west, Buffalo with a 4-point bulge over Georgetown, but the Raiders have 3 games still to make up and reduce the difference. Our alumni update for this week, 3 pretty good awards going out. Greg Gibson of Robert Morris in the NCAA named Atlantic Hockey Player of the Month. He played with Oakville, Huntsville, and Hamilton. Troy Crema of Dartmouth named ECAC Player of the Week. He played with Brampton and Hamilton. And Alex Murray of American International named Atlantic Hockey Player of the Week. And he played his hockey in the OJ with the Burlington Cougars. Welcome back to the OJ today. You know, one of the saddest days for Junior A hockey in Ontario came back in 2012 when the historic Markham Waxers suspended operations, leaving the city without a junior team for the first time since the 1930s. Enter Governor Stu Hyman and the newly born Royals. They moved from Hamilton after the end of last season, and their first year in Markham has been an unqualified success. This week's team report brought to you by Muscle Milk. Muscle Milk, official sponsor of the OJHL. When the Markham Waxers suspended operations in 2012, it brought to an end one of the great stories in junior hockey. The Waxers had spent over 70 years in the community, graduated countless players to college and the professional ranks, and left a lifetime worth of memories in Markham. When Governor Stu Hyman relocated his Hamilton Red Wings to the city in the spring of this year, it started a new chapter in the form of the Royals.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, the move to Markham so far has been unbelievable. Great support, great town, and this great rink. Lots of history here in Markham, and we're happy to be here.
So far, it's been amazing. You know, our home opener was great. The fan support's been good. The organization as a whole has just been awesome so far, and I think it's going to get better here as the season goes on.
With a mix of Red Wings and an influx of new players, the Royals have been a force so far this season, currently battling with Aurora for top spot in the North Division.
Everybody's kind of sharing the same goal, and some people share a little bit different goals. You know, some people want to win, some people want to, do well for themselves, and some people just don't know what they want to do yet, right? But I feel on this team here, which is very unique, everybody kind of shares that same mentality, and it's obviously working early in the season, but I feel like we've got a lot to improve on, and everybody shares that.
It's been great. Our start's been pretty good. I think finally the boys are buying into what we're teaching them, and they're buying in and believing in each other, and they're playing good hockey. We were on a pretty good run here, so we're enjoying it.
Pucks go deep. Let's be physical on our forecheck. Dominate them down low. Okay, use our speed, use our size, expose them in the D zone, guys. Let's go get them. Let's go.
Well, I think our strength is being balanced, and I think we have a good goaltender in Nathan Colito. Our 7D are pretty good, very balanced, and then up front we can score some goals. So I think our balance through the lineup is what makes us a good team.
Head coach Mike Galati was the bench boss in Hamilton last year, and this season brought in some key new players who have energized the Royals. Tyson Bruce came in from Stouffville and was named Northeast Player of the Month for September.
Yeah, he's a goal scorer. I mean, he's a big body, skates well for a big boy, and he has a hell of a shot. I mean, he can shoot the puck, and playing with Spivak and Valko, Aaron's finds him around the net, and Brucey's been scoring.
Aaron Spivak leads the squad in scoring, partnering with Bruce to form a dynamic offensive punch.
He works hard, leads by example. He's my centerman, he's a great line mate. He never gives up on a play. He looks for you out there. It's great having him.
Brendan Valco and Hudson Michaelis have been key contributors for the Royals as well.
Yeah, Brendan's a very good player offensively. A ton of speed, skates well, and again, him with Spivak and Bruce have been a very potent line for us. They've scored lots of goals, and hopefully they can keep going.
The Jet.
The Jet?
He's got speed like no other. Valco's got feet like no other. He can go from 0 to 100 really, really fast.
Huddy is a good player, plays the middle. He's great at both ends, very tough, and he chips in on the score sheet.
Spivak, a veteran who was with the Waxers for their last season in 2012, is philosophical regarding what it will take for this team to have a lengthy run come playoff time.
To go far in the playoffs, you have to kind of manage the highs and the lows. You need to, when you guys go up 2 goals, you need to be level-headed. When you go down 2 goals, you have to be level-headed. And I think that we've maintained that so far this season, and that we can continue to do that as we go forward. And if we can successfully, this team has definitely a lot of potential, make it far in the playoffs.
Okay, just before we go, let's take a look at the top 5 plays from the last week. Number 5, Aurora's Liam Newman against Whitby, doing it all himself, steals the pass and then shows off the soft hands. Sweet goal there. Number 4, Georgetown's Matt Cairns, right off the draw, don't blink, the howitzer into the top corner. Great shot by the Cornell-bound D-man. Number 3, Kingston, Aurora, overtime. Harris, Nadell, Rinaldi, money. The V's win it in dramatic fashion to get the 2 points. Number 2, Orangeville's Nicholas Latinovich with the ridiculous pad save on Brendan Jacome. I am in pain just watching that. And number 1 for the week, another overtime winner. It's the Fury's Zach Viminitz, apparently in Whitby. They call it a Zach attack. What a shot. And that is our OJ play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, head to the league website at ojhl.ca for all the up-to-date news, stats, and standings. On Twitter, at OJHLofficial, and at facebook.com/OJHLofficial. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'll see you next week.